listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your number one source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
The AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's WWE SmackDown After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's WWE SmackDown After Show.
Is this going to be the last time that we hear CM Punk's music at the top of a wrestling show? We got a lot to talk about today. Welcome to SmackDown AfterBuzz. I am Christian Rosenberg. Hope all you have recovered from your Royal Rumble hangovers. And man, what a crazy week this has been. Joining me, my man, Mr. Romore.
Yes. There's still a lot of anger out there, though.
There's a lot of anger.
Now there's more confusion than anything.
Yeah, there really is. Corey, unfortunately, is not here this week. She'll be back next week. So don't worry. I know she tried to impersonate me last week and failed miserably. I'm not going to impersonate her. She did try to suggest to me to wear like a tank top and put my hair in pigtails.
Yeah.
But if you're listening over iTunes, if you dare to, you can imagine it. But for your safety, I would prefer not.
Yeah, don't do that, people. Don't do that. If you know what Corey looks like, just keep that beautiful vision in your head. And
are you saying I'm not pretty?
No, I'm saying you're a sexy beast.
Oh, thank you.
Not as sexy as she is.
Yeah.
Come on.
All right, fair enough. So we're gonna have to talk a lot about CM Punk and the issues as far as CM Punk allegedly has quit the WWE, but we want to save that for the end of the show because we could talk about that for the entire hour. Yeah, and we need to make sure that we talk about briefly the Rumble and SmackDown before we get to it. So with whatever time we have remaining after SmackDown, we're talking Punk.
Push through it.
But let's get into their homework assignment, our Rosebuds and Roman armies and corporations homework assignment.
That is such a long name for her,
isn't it? Yeah. Well, there's nothing else.
Yeah,
we got nothing else.
Yeah, we got nothing.
As far as what their personal favorite Rumble moment was, and we had things all over the board.
Over the place.
We had Shawn Michaels coming in number one.
Yes.
We had, we had Lesnar. I think the year he won.
Yes.
We
even had
Vince tearing his quad, I think, was in there.
I forgot about that.
There were a lot of them.
I'm not laughing at the boss.
No, you should.
I would never do
That'd be a mistake.
Yes,
that'd be a big mistake.
Do that. He still made it work, though.
A few years ago, a little more than a few, when Undertaker and Michaels were the final two in the Rumble. I remember seeing that one. Lots of different ones. I am curious, Romore, what was your personal Rumble moment, if you could only pick one?
Favorite Royal Rumble moment of all times.
Mm-hmm.
That's so hard because I'm stuck at 3, but I will pick. I will go from the bottom up. I would say number 3 would be the Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan's first back-to-back standoff when they bumped into each other after they cleared the ring. Next would be Shawn Michaels and British Bulldog.
1 and 2, and then the last 2
would be Shawn Michaels super kicking Diesel over the top rope to go on and fulfill.
Oh, to the second one.
Yeah. See, Shawn's in my list twice.
Wow.
Yeah. See, 2 is him knocking the British Bulldog off when the British Bulldog thought he had the moment 1. And Shawn was dangling like a cat on the other side of the ring.
It's interesting. If I were to pick my 3 and go in order as well, oddly enough, Shawn is not at all on my list.
How dare you?
But no, because there's just so many great moments. Obviously, those are all amazing. And mine are for all different reasons. My number 3 would be actually the 94 Rumble with Diesel's performance. Because that was the first Royal Rumble, personally, I ever saw.
Yeah.
Diesel was a bad guy.
Yeah.
And he dominated for a while. And then after he left, I noticed as a little kid the crowd cheering him as he left. And that kind of gave me whoa, he's supposed to be hated, but fans still respected his wrestling.
Yeah.
So, like, as a kid, it helped me kind of understand things a little more. So it was a personal one for me.
You started understanding Shades of Grey.
I did.
Early.
At like age 11 or 12.
Stone Cold would be pleased.
Yes, he would. Number 2 for me, which I was shocked I didn't see at all on our comments, was Maven eliminating Undertaker. Because that was the biggest shock in the history of the Rumble.
The thing you got to remember
for
about
like a single moment.
That moment also created a lot more moments of Undertaker kicking Maven's ass for like 3 months. After that.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, that was Maven's career,
and he did not take it easy on Maven at all.
Nor should he.
He said, "You got put up. You didn't have to. You got put up in this mansion. You didn't have to deal with everything every independent wrestler has to deal with. I'm gonna beat the crap out of you," and he did.
Yeah. And then number 1 for me, Ric Flair, 92, with Bobby Heenan crying the entire time on commentary. Flair winning the Rumble, and then my personal, I think it's my all-time favorite promo, the one he gave after he won that Rumble.
Cool.
So that was my top 3, and we loved all the YouTube comments for that and their homework assignment. We'll have your assignment at the end of the show. But let's get into SmackDown, hailing from Toledo, Ohio. I feel like they were just in Ohio like 3 weeks ago. Weren't they just in Cincinnati?
They go so many places. I gave up.
Yeah. We start with the Shield, and they come down because they're furious over Monday Night Raw because they had, well, as they should be, they had the chance to win their 6-man tag match to get into the Elimination Chamber, and the Wyatts ended up causing a DQ, which cost them their shot.
I was mad at that match. Simply because it was such a good main event.
It was a great match.
Yeah, and just to see it end the way it did, I knew it had to happen. I knew it wouldn't be a regular ending, but to see it end with the Wyatts, causing havoc and costing the Shield the spot, I just didn't want to see it go that way because the match was that good. That's how good the work was.
So, Ambrose was talking about how the chamber is custom made for the Shield. Each one can come in individually, work as a unit. So one of them could end up being the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, the headline WrestleMania. And Reigns kind of starts to chuckle about it. And Ambrose and Reigns start having an exchange and be like, What, you don't think I can win it? And Reigns pretty much like, no. And then they talk about Ambrose like, I'm not sorry that I tried to eliminate you from the Rumble. And Reigns said, I'm not sorry that I did eliminate you from the Rumble.
Yes, he did.
And they were getting in each other's face. Rollins again playing Peacemaker. That's pretty much what Seth Rollins' role is. He's the Peacemaker. Someone tweeted me that, I'm sorry, I forget who it was, that Dean Ambrose is Alvin, Reigns is Simon, and Rollins is Theodore, who's the one who always separates the two.
Really? A 3 chipmunk.
Alvin and the Chipmunks comparison to the Shield. I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
But Rollins refreshes their memory saying it's the Wyatts that are the reason that they're not in the chamber, and they want the Wyatts. The two biggest heel factions want to fight each other.
Hey, interesting. Go in line with the participants of the Elimination Chamber, but we'll get to that in a little bit.
Yep. So Vicky comes out and says that she's going to make history tonight with an announcement, and before she can make that announcement, Triple H comes out and tells Vicky to go to the back.
Yeah.
Triple H heads to the ring and is just like, look, I understand your frustration, but it's best for you to let it go because nothing good can emerge from this frustration.
Mm-hmm.
And Reigns gets in Triple H's face and, pretty much says, like, we're not asking for your approval. We're doing this. We're pissed at the Wyatts. And Triple H is like, all right, fine. If that's what you want. Elimination Chamber. 6-man tag match. The Shield versus the Wyatts. Why is that not a chamber match?
I would hope if it's going to be there already, go ahead and use it for that as well.
They've announced it. It's just being a tag match. It's not in the chamber.
But that chamber is such, and it's kind of funny to say this, but that chamber is such an end-all, be-all, even though it's the setup show for WrestleMania, which is so weird, but that the way they build that match and the way they build the chamber, it's how do I want to say it? It's a storyline ender. At least it should be, but not the way they use it. So they could easily put them all in there, but I guess they're so worried about all hell breaking loose with all 6, with 6 guys, all 6 heels, 2 different factions. I wouldn't mind seeing it, but how do you keep both sets strong heading into WrestleMania? Because you got to have a Wyatt strong hitting into WrestleMania. You got to keep the Shield strong hitting into WrestleMania.
Well, you can do a couple things. For one, I think the rules would be altered if it was a chamber match where there's only one fall to a finish. And really, you can try to pin people before everyone's out of the chamber. Kind of like War Games. Yeah. You can try to get the pinfall before everyone got in the cage. No one ever did that.
No.
But so like you kind of do it. So it starts with one member of the Shield, one member of the Wyatts. The others are in the cells randomly. Each one kind of goes, and then it turns eventually into just 3-on-3 melee for one fall, where you could have Ambrose and Reigns have the dissension, and one of them gets pinned, and thus the breakup happens in time for Mania.
Yeah, true.
But but then again, that could still work just fine in a 6-man tag. I just think since you got the freaking chamber there, and we're so used to having 2 chamber matches,
are they gonna skip the second chamber match?
Well, because there's no World Heavyweight title now.
That is true.
So that
is true.
Normally there was 2 of them.
See what you've done, WWE. You see what you've done. Now we have to deal with Orton. No.
Well, speaking of the chamber, let's find out the first of the last 2 spots that are to be filled.
Yes.
We have Dolph Ziggler versus Antonio Cesaro. Before this match even starts, I'm thinking, wow, they're going to let one of these 2 in the chamber match. Awesome.
Yeah, and just, sad thing is, I know one less guy who's going to have a chance to win the chamber, but...
Yes, but they're getting a main event on a pay-per-view.
Leading into it, it's great.
Yeah. Cesaro... I'm surprised not enough people do this. The second the bell rings, he runs full speed with a dropkick and pretty much knocks Ziggler out.
I think I'm going to start all my matches like that from now on.
Do it.
Yeah.
I'm
just going to ding, ding, ding.
I'm in your corner at Alpha Omega Wrestling. I'm telling you to do it.
I think I'm going to do it. Right. Yeah, I'll do
it. Great match here. I thought it could have gone a little longer. And apparently on the WWE app is where Cesaro's incredible superplex happened. Yeah. We didn't get to see it live on TV.
They saved a superplex with Dolph standing on the apron, which we've seen it before, but still it's such a good looking move and it's so high impact.
Because it's really only Ziggler and Kofi, I think, the only people that can take it.
They can jump. Yeah, because you got to jump.
Yeah.
How good you got to be. Yeah. To make that move. Yeah.
Ziggler eventually goes for the zigzag, in which Cesaro grabs the ropes. Ziggler falls hard on his head. I'm now scared every time he wrestles because of all his concussions.
Yeah.
He falls on his head. Cesaro swing, neutralizer. Antonio Cesaro, one half of a tag team, is in the Elimination Chamber.
Yep.
The rest, like as far as just a fan of the actual wrestling, I'm ecstatic.
Oh, yeah.
Story-wise, why?
Well... They gotta throw 6 people in. Who else would you put in?
Del Rio.
You would put in Del Rio.
You
could. But
I know. Most fans wouldn't like that.
Yeah, which is why I would say I would prefer Cesaro in that situation.
Well, I prefer watching him in it. It's just as far as the story purposes. To me, it doesn't make much sense.
Well, yeah, he's in a tag team, but he's a man without a storyline. He's in a team pretty much without a storyline.
Right.
So, they're doing their gimmick. They come out every week. They're the real Americans. They do their thing. We the people, all of that. But when you got a guy of that talent level who can do so much, why not throw him in a match like that if he doesn't have anything else going on, especially if they're just using him to enhance other guys, because that's really what Cesaro is at this point. He's that guy who can really, really go. He's a phenomenal wrestler, but for whatever reason, they're not giving him the push into the title picture. So you just take him and you enhance him to make other guys that are in the title picture look even better.
So what you're saying is you don't expect Cesaro versus Batista to main event WrestleMania?
I can pretty much bet you that won't happen at WrestleMania.
Will we see Cesaro swing Cena?
We'll see him swing somebody.
He's definitely going to swing somebody.
I want him to swing like 2 or 3 of them. I think he should swing Cena into Daniel Bryan.
Or he could swing Daniel Bryan and throw him into someone.
Yeah. I think he should swing someone and then throw them through the door of the chamber. Yeah.
That'd be cool.
I think he should do that.
So many fun options.
Yeah.
Fandango takes on Xavier Woods. Fandango every week is either wrestling Xavier Woods or R-Truth.
And as soon as he came out, I said Xavier's going to lose.
You said Xavier's going to lose. R-Truth is at commentary, and apparently the Funkadactyls are out there.
Yeah.
We still don't have this explanation.
They just let it go. They just put it out there and said, hey,
We have it out there. We have not seen Brodus we saw Brodus that one time on Main Event where he had an awesome promo, and then he vanished. Well, he was on SmackDown last week.
Yeah.
But hasn't done anything with the story. We haven't seen Tensai at all.
Bad News Barrett almost made him lose character.
Maybe that's why we didn't see him this week.
Do some of that dancing you do.
Yeah. This match, I thought this match was fun. I thought it did its purpose after the big marquee match that we had with Cesaro and Ziggler. I thought this was like a nice filler match. Both guys performed well. Emma shows up again at ringside with a poster. This time, Summer Rae is pissed.
Notices her,
grabs the poster and breaks it, and then Emma, just with a big smile on her face, grabs another one. she walks around with spare posters.
Yeah, she has got a lot of those. She's got girls got to be prepared.
Yeah. Then though, back in the ring, Fandango eventually gets the win with a Falcon Arrow. No top rope leg drop.
Yeah, no.
Falcon Arrow, much safer of a finishing move than the top rope leg drop. So I'm all for him using that move more.
One, it looks cool. I mean, the top rope leg drop's been around so long. Beautiful Bobby Eaton did it.
The Alabama Jam.
Yeah. God. I watched that guy wrestle so many times. But nicest guy, too. Super nice guy. But
oh, you didn't name drop at all just now.
Well, I'm from Alabama.
Well, I didn't know that meant you hung out with Bobby Eaton.
I didn't say I hung out with him.
You said he's a really nice guy.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy.
That means you've met him.
But it also could mean that I've talked to people who said he was a really nice guy. And yes, I did meet him, so I'll pick that name up. Even though I wasn't trying to drop that.
Whatever.
I was just saying, he's a nice guy. But either way, he did that move for so many years, and he did it safely, and he didn't really get hurt from it a lot of times. But that still is categorized as a high-impact move, coming off the top rope, compressing your spine when you land.
But was he wrestling 4 or 5 times a week like Fandango is now?
Is Fandango really wrestling 4 or 5 times a week?
He's on most Raws and SmackDowns.
Yeah, he's
obviously,
working.
and he's working the house shows.
Yeah, he is working, but I don't know if he's doing that move on every single show.
Well, I hope not for his sake.
Yeah, because that move, once you get used to doing it all the time, you don't even notice it. But once you take a break from doing that move and you come back to do it again, it's like, what the hell? What was I even thinking? Why was I doing this for so long? Yeah, I stopped doing them off the second rope a while ago and tried to do one again, and it's like, yo, what the hell?
Gotcha.
Yeah. But yeah, Falcon's Arrow always been more my favorite type move because it's one of my style moves.
I like that move a lot.
Yeah, I like it better.
All right. Now we got some randomness. Primetime players versus Rybaxel.
Yeah.
And this was, as I've coined the phrase, the something's got to give match. When we have 2 people, or in this case 2 teams, competing that have not won in forever.
Yeah.
Which means, okay, someone's got to win the match.
And I hadn't seen PTP in a while.
Yeah, we haven't seen PTP in a while. Rybaxel, we haven't really seen him do much teamwork recently. And whenever they had singles matches, they've tended to lose.
Yeah.
And Michael Cole spends more time wishing Fit Finlay and Giant Gonzalez a happy birthday than talking about the match on commentary.
I forgot about Giant. He did mention the Giant Gonzalez.
He mentioned Giant Gonzalez.
Undertaker's 6th victim?
It was WrestleMania 9, so no, it wasn't number 6. That was number 4. No, number 3.
Yeah,
3.
I think that was 3.
7, 8, 9.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, well, happy birthday to that Giant.
El Gigante in WCW.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Then they put him in a big, weird leotard suit thingy.
Everyone makes mistakes. So,
onesie.
This match lasts less than 2 minutes. Darren Young is in the ring the whole time, never gets to tag Titus. Ryback apparently clotheslined his mouth off because his mouth looked like it was gushing blood. And then Axel comes in, hits his finisher, and Ryback gets a quick win. And the camera, as soon as it ended, just went to Titus. And just Titus standing on the apron, staring. And the second that happened, you and I looked at each other. We're like, oh, no.
It's coming.
We're like, it's happening now. Titus and Darren start talking because Titus is angry at Darren because they always lose. Darren's like, calm down. Eventually, Titus is like, I've never been a loser. I've only become a loser since I've been teaming with you. Mm-hmm. And then Titus went on to beat the crap out of him, like whip him against the barricades.
We're not just teammates. We're brothers.
We're like brothers.
That's what Darren said.
Okay. Well, brothers fight.
Yeah. And that wasn't a fight.
No.
That was a beatdown.
That was like a massacre.
I've seen the Crips be kinder to people.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
I have.
So here's the one dilemma that I'm in right now. We've been talking about how 2013 has been the year of the tag teams. How the tag team division has finally escalated to what we've been waiting for the longest time. It's best the tag team division right now is the best it's been in over a decade.
Oh yeah, easy.
All of a sudden, almost at the same time, you have the primetime players separate, and you're planting seeds for the Shield to separate and the Real Americans to separate, based on Cesaro getting in the chamber, thus most likely developing a singles push in the near future. Why are they suddenly... I can understand they want to break up a team for a storyline, but to break up three teams at pretty much the same time? Why would they do that?
There are a number of things that I'm sure as people listen to us and watch us are thinking right now. There's a number of things the WWE is doing right now.
A 3MB title run. That's the plan. Right? Or Los Matadores. 3MB versus Los Matadores, WrestleMania.
If Los Matadores does anything with concerning a belt, I don't even care if it's not a wrestling belt. It could be a regular belt. I don't want them to. They better wear. They better wear warm up pants for the rest of their life. I don't want them to ever have a belt of any.
They must only wear sweats at all times.
All times, because they don't deserve that. That gimmick doesn't deserve that. Once again, I say again, nothing against Epico and Primo.
You mean Fernando and Diego?
Nothing against Epico and Primo. All of this is just strictly against that gimmick. I don't even like El Torito. I just...
it's a problem when Torito is the one that gets to go in the Rumble.
Yeah, and got over.
Who was the guy that I drew in the Rumble pool? I drew Torito.
So sorry. I drew Roman Reigns.
You drew Roman Reigns. You had a blast.
Yeah,
I had Torito.
So sorry.
God.
But yeah, it's just they're doing things right now. The WWE is in the middle of a shift. Where it's going, we don't know. There's shifts happening in the office. There's a power shift at the top that's been going on for about the last 2 years. It's going to continue to go on until Vince decides exactly how he's going to let the leadership of his company go after he's not there anymore. So we're going to slowly see a transitional phase. I just don't know what it is they're doing with the tag teams. Are there more tag teams that are going to come up from NXT? Are they going to put some
right now
together?
The only tag team you see on NXT is the Ascension.
Yeah.
Which I mean they're good, but I don't know if they're going to be like main stage.
So you're
type
saying
deal.
there are no Dudleys, Hardy Boys, nothing like that?
Not that we see on NXT right now.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that there are people that they're grooming that have not come on NXT yet that are going to be that, and hopefully there are. I just think going back to Titus and Darren, we knew this was going to happen because Titus was clearly more over than Darren.
Yeah.
We knew this was eventually going to happen. But why, when we're already having dissension with the Shield, you could set up dissension with the Real Americans and have New Age Outlaws, who, let's be honest, we know they're not going to be there long term. Why is this happening now? Why wouldn't this have waited till late spring, summer?
Well, at the same time, like you said, Titus was kind of dead in the water. Primetime players were dead in the water. It was every time you saw him, you went, I like seeing him.
You can make that argument with a lot of guys, though.
Except
Miz is dead in the water right now.
Well, yeah, but
Kofi's dead in the water. Del Rio's dead in the water.
But they get more TV time than
True.
than PTP.
Yeah,
and they didn't want people to forget about Titus. So how do you do? We don't know what they're going to do. Obviously, it's going to be a one-on-one situation at some point down the line. Titus has to win it.
Yeah, and then the question is, what's going to happen to Darren?
And that's the person you should be concerned about.
I am concerned about it because all of a sudden, after this, Darren going to turn into Kurt Hawkins and never be seen?
When he showed up as the Black Cena when he was with, what was that, Nexus?
Nexus.
Yeah, when he was in Nexus, he was Black Cena because we couldn't tell that he was, just looked like Cena with a deep tan. And then he became Darren Young all of a sudden with an afro in Primetime Players. And then after that, I don't know what else is going to happen for him.
Exactly.
The WWE has a long history of it didn't work, kid. Sorry. So don't know. I mean, I can only hope that he's not a future Endeavor victim at some point.
And then that's when you get into the sensitive PR subject of how would they handle that, being that he's now like the first openly gay superstar on the roster.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's got a job somewhere.
Oh, without a doubt. Because he's a talented guy.
Yeah, he can wrestle, but I just don't know what they're going to do with him because I don't even think this has anything to do with his sexual orientation.
No, I'm not. I'm not saying this does, but I'm just saying
yeah.
like if in 6 months from now they happen to future Endeavor him,
yeah,
that's going to come up,
and that's why they won't.
Right,
they won't. They will get rid of JTG first.
All right. Well, yeah,
who somehow still has a job.
Well, obviously that's a serious subject. And we would love to know what you guys think about that. And you can let us know by going onto iTunes and leaving a comment, as well as liking 5 stars. And, of course, subscribing to this, as well as all the other great AfterBuzz shows. We do SmackDown, Raw, Main Event, NXT. Total Divas is back in March, where we just recently found out Summer Rae is going to be on Total Divas this season. I'm excited for that.
Replacing JoJo. I'm going to miss JoJo.
I'm going to miss JoJo, but I'm happy for Summer Rae.
I'm going to miss JoJo.
All right. And, of course, you can find out the schedule for all these shows by going to AfterBuzzTV.com. And then, like we said, leave the comments on iTunes or as well as the YouTube page where you can answer our homework assignment that we'll give at the end of the show, as well as any other comments you might have. And I know we had lots of comments about this. Newest Hall of Fame inductee, Jake the Snake Roberts. About damn time.
Yeah. The WWE finally got their head on straight when it comes to this Hall of Fame. They finally put away some of the petty differences with some of these legends.
Yep.
And finally allow them to go into the Hall of Fame where they rightfully deserve.
I mean, these two alone, this could be the Hall of Fame class. That's it.
It's setting up to be.
And most people would be thrilled by it.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, we can live with just 2.
Could you imagine the speeches that night with just these 2?
Well, they both be an hour.
Yeah, easy.
Warrior's still going to be an hour, even if there's going to be 7 people.
Yeah, I think you need to get that African sign language guy that was standing behind Obama for
there you go with your political stuff. Then I'm going to move on.
That wasn't even political.
I know it's not political, but you brought up politics. If you bring up Obama, it's politics. I do nothing with politics.
I brought up the
except if the politics have to do with wrestling.
I brought up the yeah. Well,
and we know there's plenty of that.
No politics there, are there? But yeah, I was just bringing up the guy that likes to stand because nobody's gonna know what the hell Warrior's saying. We're not gonna understand what he's talking about. And while you're talking about politics, you better hope that Warrior doesn't get political in his speech because
I'm afraid of that.
Yeah.
I just hope he wears face paint.
He has to wear it. I have to see a grown man. How old is he?
He's got to be in his 50s.
Yeah, I got to see him come out with face paint.
But Jake Roberts, one of the best promo givers of all time. And the fact that this guy never won a WWE title.
Yeah.
But he was just so dominant.
He was one of those guys. He didn't need it.
No, he didn't need a title to solidify him.
He had Damien.
Yeah, he did. He had several Damiens.
Yeah.
Now, if Demolition gets inducted, I don't care who the rest are. I'd be thrilled with those 3.
That would be a fun.
I want Demolition.
Class. I'm almost wondering who else is there, because obviously there are a lot of.
There are a lot of others. There's going to be the one that was passed away, and they can only have one.
Yeah.
So whether or not, I doubt it's going to be Savage at this point.
Yeah,
because it would have been announced by now.
Savage is too huge.
It's too huge to be the 3rd announcement. Yeah. It could be Paul Bearer. It could be Rick Rude.
Yeah.
I know I'm missing another huge one that I'm thinking of. There also needs to be a big guy. What about either Kamala or Vader? Like, there's always a big guy that gets inducted.
It should be Kamala. It should be.
Yeah. Well, we'll wait and see with the rest of the announcements. And then we get, though, back to SmackDown. kind of a little announcement, a little quick vignette of the latest NXT superstar to get the call up, Alexander Rusev, the Bulgarian Brute, who I loved in the Rumble, and I can't wait to I can't wait to see what they do with him on WTV. Now let's get to that other Elimination Chamber qualifying match. The last one, Jack Swagger, the man who won the Elimination Chamber match last year, taking on the return of Captain Charisma, Christian, back after another injury. Here he is. No promo intro. He just comes out for the match.
Out.
And Jack Swagger, like I said, he's competing to get in the main event of Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. He won the Chamber match last year. He doesn't get an intro.
No.
He's already in the ring.
He's in the ring. Him and Zeb chilling.
And this match was fantastic. Christian looked like he never left.
He has a habit of doing that.
He really does.
Yeah, he's got a habit of disappearing for a while, recouping, and when he shows back up, just, pick up right back where he left off.
Yeah. And Swagger, I thought, looked excellent in this match, too.
Yeah.
And the key thing was the commentators were really trying to get an answer out of Zeb on commentary, where JBL literally had to run and grab Zeb to sit down in commentary.
Where are you going? Over here.
Because asking him why on Raw did he slap Swagger to try to get him back in the game. And he was kind of trying to explain it as professional and political as he can without trying to, bury Swagger. But again, like I was saying earlier, planting the seeds for a breakup between the Real Americans. And again, that's one that we know was going to happen, but they're all happening at the same time.
Yeah.
Like I said, awesome match. Eventually ends with a frog splash by Christian. So Christian is in the Elimination Chamber. So our 6 competitors in Elimination Chamber, we have champion Randy Orton. Heel.
Boring on the mic. Yeah, I said it. Not scared of it. Not backing down.
Can we get the disclaimer for Rome? No. Randy Orton, heel. Antonio Cesaro, technically heel, but the crowd loves him.
Yeah.
Because he's a phenomenal wrestler.
Yeah, he's a tweener.
Sheamus is a...
Sheamus? Oh, well, he is the most hated... No, face.
John Cena.
Most hated face.
And Daniel Bryan.
Actually works for Cena.
Oh, and Christian, who just returned.
Yeah, they're going to cheer him.
And Daniel Bryan.
Most over guy in the company.
So we pretty much have 5 guys the crowd cheers for and Randy Orton.
Yeah, pretty much.
How's that going to work?
I don't know. They're going to figure it out. Just put them out there, let it work.
I mean,
throw them out there, we'll see.
All I know is I hope they're ready for it. If Daniel Bryan gets eliminated in the match, besides the crowd naturally booing for that, which we know they're going to do, they got to be ready for the fact that then Cesaro is going to be the one cheered the most if Daniel Bryan gets eliminated.
Because Cena's going to always get the tweener reaction. He's going to get his cheers.
And he always
does.
Get
his boos. He's used to it. He knows it. Orton's going to get booed regardless.
Christian and Sheamus will still get cheered.
Yeah, up until a certain point.
Up until they're squaring off with either Daniel Bryan or Cesaro.
Yeah. When Daniel Bryan is in the ring, there will be whoever is in there with him will get booed. I don't care who it is.
I don't know.
Hulk Hogan. I want to see the reaction Hulk Hogan would get in the ring with Daniel Bryan. Like if this was take the Rock out and put in Daniel Bryan at this moment, and if we could go back in time and see Hulk Hogan Rock match, but put it as today's Daniel Bryan, what would the reaction be?
Well, there always comes a time where people get tired of the same guy. And it even happened with Hogan.
Yeah.
When Undertaker beat him for the title, when Undertaker was new, the crowd went nuts for Taker.
Yep, they did.
Because they wanted a new champion, new blood, new guy. He's only been around about a year.
It's just like at the end of the Rumble when pretty much the entire WWE
chanted for Roman Reigns.
We all got behind Roman Reigns. Said, let's do this.
So, yeah. We'll, as we get closer to the chamber, we'll be obviously breaking it down much more.
Yeah.
Renee Young backstage with Christian asking how he feels now. He knows that the window of opportunity is starting to close on him due to all the amount of miles he's had on his body over his career, and that he's desperate, but he hopes that his opponents mistake that desperation for weakness, and I'm going to use it to become the most dangerous Christian you've ever seen. And if that's not planting seeds for eventual heel turn, I don't know what is to be dangerous. Now, will he do that before the Chamber? He's got about 3, maybe 4 weeks.
Yeah, he doesn't have long. The question, yeah, you're right. Will that happen? Will he do that before?
Yeah. Based on who's in it, it would make sense for him to do that.
Yeah.
Like
true.
all of a sudden on Raw, you have him team with Daniel Bryan in just a tag team match of some kind.
Yeah.
And then you have him screw Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
I'm just using that example. Or Cena or Sheamus or whoever.
Any of the crew.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because it could happen like that.
Yeah. Kofi Kingston versus Damian Sandow. This match happened. It was a couple minutes. It was very fast paced. Counter. Nobody really hit much of any move. And then Kofi hit an SOS for the win.
Yeah. Is that all you got for that one?
That is all I have for that one.
That's it? That's it?
That's it. That's all I really have for that.
No 11-foot jump or nothing?
Well, the recap from the Rumble with the 11-foot jump,
Yeah,
but it
no.
didn't happen in this match.
Yeah. I love how they're selling it as if it's an Olympic record or something like that. We were going to hear about that jump for so long.
It's a Royal Rumble record.
Yeah. No one's jumped from the rail to the ring. Thank you. To me, it wasn't even the most impressive thing he's ever done.
No, the handstand was the most impressive.
Yeah.
This was definitely better than the chair hop last year, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The chair hop was kind of
weird.
Just put together.
Yeah. Then we get a quick little recap of Brock Lesnar going nuts on Raw, demanding to wrestle either Orton for the title or Batista. Authority doesn't let him. And then he takes his frustration out on Goldust and Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
In the midst of their title match, where we see the announcement that was made, I believe, 2 days ago. And Triple H said, this Monday on Raw, New Age Outlaws will defend the tag team titles against Cody Rhodes and Goldust inside a steel cage.
We need to sell some tickets.
And we just had a tag team steel cage match on Raw 3 weeks ago.
And we need to sell more tickets.
All right. I caught that. And that leads us into Cody Rhodes versus Road Dogg, 1-on-1 singles match. Yet Goldust and Billy Gunn are in their gear.
Yeah, they're there. It did not seem like a singles match to me.
It really wasn't.
Yeah.
They just kept getting involved.
They were always, if they're going to be out there and they're going to do that much, just hold off and give it to us on Monday.
Yeah, see what I thought when I see them both come out on gear, Cody's going to wrestle Road Dogg, and as soon as that match is over, we're going to have Goldust versus Billy.
Yeah.
No, we didn't have that.
Kind of had a tag match.
Cody's arm was taped up selling the attack from Lesnar on Raw. And again, it was a good match, but it felt more like you said, a tag team match than a singles match. Mm-hmm. Cody hit the disaster kicking Road Dogg for the win. Try to give him some momentum heading into the cage match on Raw. Finally, main event of the evening, The Shield versus... All right. That happened. The Shield versus the trio of Daniel Bryan, Sheamus, and Mysterio, because John Cena doesn't normally wrestle on Friday nights.
No.
And
he's at that point now. He has seniority.
Yeah, he does. And Mysterio doesn't?
He gets injured a lot.
That's true. Yeah. So the Shield is in the ring, getting ready, expecting their opponents to come out. All of a sudden, lights go out, and the Wyatts appear on the Tron. And now the Wyatts are cutting the promo on the Shield, which I'm torn whether or not I like this. Like the wrestling fan, as far as just the art of the wrestling and the characters, I'm overjoyed. The fact that probably the semi-main event of the pay-per-view being heel versus heel.
That's what's going to happen.
It is. I mean, Roman Reigns really just has to break out as the babyface in this match to make the story work.
And I think he will. Everybody loves to watch the Wyatts, but everybody hates the Wyatts at the same time. I love watching them. I don't love. But
they don't necessarily get cheered.
Yeah, no, they don't get the love to hate. They don't get cheered. They just get the we understand.
We enjoy watching you, and we know that we're not supposed to like you.
Yeah, and it's like it's almost as if we're holding back. Like people want to like them even more, and maybe to the point of cheering them, but because we enjoy the characters so much, it's like no, that has no business being cheered. I'm just gonna sit, get quiet, and enjoy.
Yeah. So Wyatt talks about how much he likes games, and his favorite game is War. And I just love that. And then I was thrown off because all of a sudden the camera pans to Luke Harper, who sounds creepier than Bray.
He sounds way creepier.
Like, he's finally getting to talk, and he's scarier than Bray. He just pretty much talked about, like, you picked a beautiful hill to die on. What?
He reminded me of back in the 90s, Waylon Mercy.
Well, yeah. Well, that's a lot. A lot of people think that that's kind of who Bray's based off of.
Yeah. He
like a little bit of Waylon Mercy,
but not so much Bray.
You think more Harper?
Harper sounded like him tonight.
Interesting.
Well, just because he's tall and he's got that kind of that look.
Yeah.
That Waylon had.
And then Rowan leans into the camera with the sheet mask on, and you hear him speak for the first time. All he says is "run," but still, just
it sounded much more menacing than how that just sounded.
Run.
Yeah, I'm not scared.
You're not scared when I say when Luke Harper says you picked a beautiful hill to die on.
Yeah,
that doesn't intimidate you at all.
No,
all right.
It doesn't. I think of flower lilies and butterflies and sugar plums and stuff when you say that.
All right.
It's kind of it's like kind of like
my shirt.
Yeah, it's kind of like your shirt
covered in my roses.
Yeah,
I'm just so likable. That's what you meant, right?
How about everybody give him the answer to that question on YouTube?
Am I likable?
And on iTunes.
It's a simple yes or no question.
And I will let our audience answer that.
You're gonna have like a graph next week of the results, aren't you? Let's look at this.
Look at this pie chart. 88%.
88% said no.
Yeah.
10% said who?
Yeah.
And 2% said yes.
2% are the rosebuds.
My family, the members of family that I watched, they said yes.
Yeah.
Really fun 6-man tag match, as we expected, as these matches always tend to be. Mysterio took a bigger beating than I thought he normally would. And then in the end, got speared by Roman Reigns. Shield gets the victory. And that is how SmackDown goes off the air. So before we talk about Punk, just real quick, what was your match of the night?
Man.
There were a lot of good matches tonight.
Yeah. Dolph. Yeah.
Going with Ziggler Cesaro.
Yep.
I'm going with the other chamber match. I really enjoyed Christian Swagger.
Cool.
I thought that was a very fun match, especially for the fact that he was back for the first time in who knows how long.
He took a gorilla press over the ring post to the outside
in like the first 30 seconds of the match.
That was a sick move.
Yeah, it's like, and he lands on the shoulder that he's been injured with forever.
That'll work, man. It's he's like $6 million man. Yeah, they rebuild.
We can rebuild him.
Yeah.
All right. So let's spend our last few minutes that we have tonight talking about CM Punk. So for those of you that have been living under a rock this week,
the wrestling world is on its ear.
On Monday, you might have noticed CM Punk was not on Raw.
He wasn't?
As we hear the music again. He was not on Raw. My first thought was, that makes perfect sense, since at the Royal Rumble, he was chokeslammed through a table. He can sell the injury, take the night or the week off, and then come back the following week for the story.
Yep.
Apparently, that was not the case.
Nope.
He was... Allegedly. This is all reports, whether it's from TMZ or various other things, but it's all over the place, that he approached Vince in the back shortly before Raw was going on the air.
Mm-hmm.
And
perfect time to do it.
And just express his frustrations on where he was supposed to be for WrestleMania and the fact that Batista is going to be in the main event, because Batista, let's be honest, doesn't look like he's in the greatest ring shape yet. Obviously, that will change.
Yeah,
give him time. That will change. But for the Rumble, he wasn't as good as we thought he would be.
Yeah, he wasn't as animalish.
And Punk was just like, I'm tired. I'm not dealing with this. I know my contract ends in July, but screw it. I'm just going home now. And left.
And then left. Got on a plane with Chicago.
Got on a plane, went home, has pretty much been a hermit. No one's heard anything from him. WWE has not issued any type of comments about him. Apparently, they have unfollowed him on Twitter.
They've unfollowed him. They have pulled him off of the WrestleMania 30 poster.
All live events.
They, all references to him on Raw, they made sure to take out to make sure that nothing even said his name. Because the WWE's policy is out of sight, out of mind. But this one has a different feel to it.
It really does. I mean, your first thought when you hear this type of story is you go back about, I want to say 11 years ago, maybe 10, 11, 12 years ago, when Steve Austin walked out because they told him that he was supposed to lose to Brock Lesnar on Raw with no storyline buildup.
Ironically, the man who Punk has always wanted to face at WrestleMania, who he's been lobbying for about 2 or 3 years to have one more match,
took after him,
is that guy. Yeah, is the guy who walked out, the other guy who walked out of the company.
Now, Austin then returned a few months later.
Yeah.
Punk's contract, as he's made public, ends January 31st. It's scheduled to end sometime in July, 6 months from now. Is this some type of story that we're going to see him back in a few weeks or just after the Chamber to build up something else for Mania? Is this something where he'll just come back right after Mania? Or is this legit?
Well, the only way for him to come back after Mania is if he's got an extension. What good is there to bring him back
for 2 months?
Yeah,
2-3 months.
You got a couple of pay-per-views and then he's out. He'll be gone before SummerSlam, so that makes no sense. To not have him now on the build-up, especially the way the WWE works, where they would have used every little ounce of energy from him from now until I really want to say about June.
Right, and which the plan obviously was, him to wrestle more than likely Kane at the Elimination Chamber, and then eventually set up CM Punk versus Triple H at WrestleMania.
Which allegedly Punk did not agree with.
And
wasn't too happy about that one either, outside of the fact that Batista is going to headline WrestleMania.
With a third straight WrestleMania where a part-time guy is in the main event.
He has a legitimate argument there.
Absolutely. But then the question lies in, is this some elaborate storyline that the WWE has fooled everyone on? Because people are like, no, this is just a story. This is an angle.
A lot of people want to say it's a story. I've spoken to a few people in the know, and they don't even know.
Right.
Yeah.
You want to know one obvious way to find out? On this Monday at Raw, I don't know off the top of my head where Raw is taking place.
Yeah, don't know.
But if someone that is there live, let us know if they sell CM Punk merchandise.
Yeah, but I don't
if they're still selling merchandise, he's still there. Because they're still making money off it.
It's one of two ways with that. If they're still selling merch,
I don't care if they slash the prices. If they're still physically there.
Well, the question is, are they trying to get rid of it? Or is he still there? Because technically he's still an employee of the company. He's just, because he's an independent contractor, he has the right to go home at any moment that he chooses to.
Sure.
So, that's how the WWE contracts are pretty much put together. You're always an independent contractor. Guys have tried to argue that in court before to, form a union or to say that they're employees of the company to get better benefits, and it's always come back, no, you guys are independent contractors. So, with that being said, it's hard to tell. Like, if you look at the merchandise, it could be there. Yeah, they could be selling it, but why are they selling it? Is it to empty the warehouses, get rid of it, make money, make the rest of the money that you can off of him? Or is it that he's still there and this is part of a storyline?
See, I just still personally think if they still have his stuff around, like you go back to when he walked out after he won the title of Money in Bank a few years ago and was off TV for a couple of months. They were still selling his stuff. They made a brand new T-shirt, and he was still making appearances with the WWE title.
Well, that was clear that he was still a member of the company at that point.
But I just think that they're thinking that some people will be questioning this just like they question that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. The thing is, Punk isn't exactly the most, I don't want to use the word media friendly. How can I
politically correct?
Yeah. He doesn't necessarily like to do a buttload of interviews and all of that type of stuff. But at the same time, he's done everything he can in the ring. You know, as far as his career can go in the WWE, he's done so much for them and for himself.
There are only two things that he has not done: win the Rumble and main event Mania.
Yeah, that's true. Which
he doesn't really care. Doesn't sound like he really cares much about winning the Rumble. He just wants to main event Mania.
And I know he's tired. As everyone on that roster is.
I can understand that.
Yeah, as every single person on that roster is. So with the rumors were that he was going to leave in July anyway. So with him leaving in July and not main eventing Mania, could he just say, well, screw it, I'm just going to take my ball and go home now? He's made plenty of money.
Well, yeah, but then who's to say that if he stayed, that when they got closer to July, to be like, oh, if you would like, we're going to give you this 1 year, 2 year, 3 year extension with all this extra stuff. That'd be hard to refuse. Would he want to do it?
Would he want to do it? And he, like, I've only been around him a few times, but
which is a few more than I have.
Yeah, but being around him, he seems like the type of guy who's wouldn't care one way or another. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, you know, he could do it. He may not do it. He's a different animal. He loves wrestling, but he's a different animal. He's a guy who I could believe could walk away from a job that pays millions and millions of dollars because he already has millions and millions of dollars. He could step away, but he also could still want to be there, and this could all be one big ruse. This all could be a work, but you never know. And
he's also one of the very few people that owns his character name.
Yeah.
So if he starts hosting some random, talk show, because he loves doing stuff with Nerdist, for example, he could be like, hey, welcome, I'm CM Punk, your host. He doesn't have to go to Phil Brooks.
Yeah, nah, he doesn't. That's the beautiful thing about it. He's one of the few that was able to trademark his name before.
And he can thank Heyman for that.
Yeah, because they would have taken it.
Yeah, when he got brought up, they're like, no, you're not going to use the name you used on the Indies here.
He's like, yes, I am.
So it really, there's so many questions that we have with this, because obviously Punk's not talking, so we're not going to get anything from him. Mm-hmm. Would the WWE on this Money on Raw acknowledge anything with it? Because the crowd is going nuts. In fact, I don't know if you heard, it was either yesterday or 2 days ago, it was another batch of NXT tapings where the crowd, like, the entire time was chanting for CM Punk, even when, like, wrestlers were making their entrances. Mm-hmm. It actually kind of turned to almost a disrespectful thing for the NXT superstars.
Yeah.
So I'm honestly curious when those episodes air on NXT if they're going to edit that out.
Yeah, how they're going to edit it.
But obviously the fans all know about this.
Yeah.
Because it's mainstream media.
Yeah.
Between the Dan O'Brien stuff at the Rumble that was headlined from the freaking BBC and had a petition at the White House.
Yes.
Don't ask me how that happened.
Way to go, fans.
Over 100,000 people actually thought that the Supreme Court would make a ruling as to whether or not Dan O'Brien can main event WrestleMania. And that's a different story. I don't know what you guys are thinking. But with Monday Night Raw, does Triple H talk about it? Does Vince McMahon talk about it? Does someone like Cena talk about it? Do the commentators talk about it? Does no one say a thing and just let the crowd do their crazy chants and ignore it all night?
I think they probably will ignore it as if it's not happening. Like they did with Matt Hardy. When the Matt Hardy,
just thinking that.
Edge and Lita situation went down, they ignored the Matt Hardy chants for as long as they could until you could ignore it anymore. No more.
And then even when Hardy was signed back, but they didn't announce it yet and had those couple run-ins where security would take him off, commentary was silent and never brought it up. You think that could be something with this? Like all of a sudden, Kane is standing ringside and over the barricade comes Punk and commentators can't say anything?
It would be quite possibly the hottest wrestling storyline of the next 2-year period if that was to happen. There's money in this.
There's a lot of money
to be made in this if they do it the right way, if it's a storyline. Wrestling, especially the WWE, has been incredibly good with taking real-life situations, which start as real. Edge and Matt, Vince and Stone Cold. A lot of those situations started off as real life situations.
Fred and Sean.
Sean had plenty. Yeah, that was what I was about to say. This could be a legitimate CM Punk walked out on the company, walked out on the job. Unprofessional, depending on how you're looking at it. He has, he believes his reasons.
Both have
valid.
their points.
Yeah, both sides have good points. But let's say they come to a resolution at some point. No one has to know when they resolve their personal issues or their business issues. The fans don't have to know. We don't have to know. Journalists don't have to know. No one has to know.
Sure.
So in order for that to happen, if they did resolve this and then one day he does come back out of nowhere, the money's going to be through the roof for both the company and Punk.
And then you have like the ironic factor where he's so upset about these guys coming back after a long time off, being part-time and getting the main event. Well, what if, say Punk's gone a year. Let's just randomly say a year. And he comes back and his new contract allows him to have fewer dates so he doesn't have the travel schedule and main event mania. Then he's exactly the type of person that he was complaining about.
I was about to say he would then become the guy that he hates.
Right.
Yeah.
So that kind of leads us to our homework assignment this week for YouTube, because we're going to be wrapping things up. Your question is, what is next for CM Punk? Does he come back to the WWE? Does he start doing something on another TV show? Does he start his own line of ice cream bars? Be creative.
He should have got those ice cream bars.
Yeah.
He should have got those ice
He
cream
should
bars.
have. That would have kept him there.
Yeah.
If he got the ice cream bars.
Hopefully he shows up on The Talking Dead or something.
Well, he's done that, hasn't he?
He's done it a few times, actually. Yeah. I
So-
know he did it once.
So whether you give serious answers or just funny answers with it, I'd love to see anything as far as what do you think CM Punk would do next besides get a new tattoo, because we know he'll probably do that also.
He has space.
He still has like his cheeks.
Oh yeah, he could tattoo his cheeks.
So that is how SmackDown AfterBuzz is going to end today. A full SmackDown. Obviously, lots of stuff between the Royal Rumble, CM Punk. We're on the road to WrestleMania, baby.
Yeah, here we are.
And now I think you mentioned it on our Rumble AfterBuzz. It's postseason time.
Yeah, it's postseason.
And
Postseason.
we're going to have a lot more AfterBuzzes like this with lots and lots of stuff to talk about. But if you want to talk to us outside of AfterBuzz, Rome, how can they reach out to you?
Rome the Ruler on Twitter as always, and you can even look me up on Instagram at empire_of_Rome.
Wow, that's a long one.
It had to be. I wanted to be different.
All right. And you can follow me on Twitter at CRosieVOC. Again, your YouTube question of the week, what's next for CM Punk, as well as any other comments or questions that you have, feel free to post them on iTunes, YouTube, or just tweet them to us. And you can, of course, follow Kaorius at KAORIOUS, or Kaori at Kaorius is what I meant to say. I just said follow Kaorius.
Yeah.
And for all your AfterBuzz news, follow them on Twitter at AfterBuzzTV. Thanks so much for tuning in this week. For Rome Moore, I'm Christian Rosenberg. Happy birthday to my nephew Mason. We'll see you later.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.